All right, we are live without a shadow of a doubt. You guys have tuned in to the War Zone, the hottest show on the internet with Jerry Wayne Monroe, the five-star general. He is in route in traveling, heading back to Houston to kick up some dirt and take care of a little business. I am Donovan Sadiq. You guys are listening to the War Zone with my sidekick, Demetra K. And we have special guest, owner of BigMamasCollection.com, Corliss Johnson is in the house, and she's going to join us for a little bit of talk. And we're going to be talking about relationships. And if you guys get a chance, look down there. And we are talking about the Congressional Kente Cloth Democrats. And we're going to be talking a little bit about those guys today. And I'm going to pass this off to Demetra. If you like, share, please do get the word out, share the show. So Demetra, take it away.
So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, as Donovan just said, and we're here with our good friend Corliss Johnson, owner of Big Mama Collection. Please pick up some of her sauce for it. It is the bomb. I used the last of it yesterday, and I can't wait for my other sauce to come. So anyway, and you guys have probably seen, and as you, again, Mr. Monroe is traveling. He is traveling back to Texas. And so anyway, you guys probably have seen today on the news or on your Facebook timeline, the congressional Democrats came before us, and they were all donned in kente cloths. If you guys don't know what that is, it's an African print. And they had scarves on and or whatever it was draped around them. And they were doing it in homage. This is what they're saying, in homage of African Americans, and they're recognizing what Black people, especially in America, are going through. They also kneeled on one knee for about 9 minutes to pay tribute to, or bring awareness rather, to what George Floyd has gone through. As far as the police officer having his knee on his neck for almost 9 minutes. And so with that, they wanted to introduce a bill that limits police immunity and excessive force. Now, a couple of the senators and Congress people, they spoke. One of the ones that got up there was House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi, and who was Karen Bass. He has Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, James Clyburn, and a couple other people were getting up there saying that, you know, we hear you, we see you. This was like a reoccurring thing that they had going on. We hear you, we see you, and now we're going to introduce some legislation to hold police officers accountable and, you know, limit this, that, and the other. It was just a bunch of stuff that they were saying. I really couldn't keep track of a lot of it, but I did take some notes. Let's see. They talked about, you know, Steny Hoyer. They talked about being on a bridge with John Lewis. Don't start, Donovan. Being on a bridge 15 times. He says he's crossed the bridge 15 times with John Lewis, you know, with his kids and all kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, well, you crossed the bridge 15 times. I don't know if that was 15 years or 15 times. And here we are still dealing with police brutality and a wholesale murder of Black people, right? Then, you know, throughout that, a lot of them thanked the Congressional Black Caucus for everything that they're doing. And I thought, well, what are they doing exactly? Because here we are in 2020, and we are still like, we're acting like we're in 1920, where we're talking about lynchings, because essentially that's what it is. We're talking about, you know, doing something to stop the murder of Black people by the hands of murderous police. Well, it's like you being Congress, you got all this power, and now you're talking about, now we see you, now we hear you. And then Kamala, she got up there, was saying that, you know, things needed to be done, blah, blah, blah. And to me, she'll be back. To me, it was more or less blah, blah, blah. Because Kamala was the top cop in California. You know, she was the attorney general. And under her watch, she did a lot of adverse things to Black people. I was looking at a comment. I did a lot of adverse things to Black people under her, you know, tenure as attorney general. So now you have all these people who want to do something about it. And I think we should not be fooled because, it's symbolism. It's all symbolism. And they all talk about wanting to help Black people, but none of them talked about writing a check to Black people, the check in the form of reparations. We deserve reparations. Even Nancy Pelosi got up there and talked about the horrors of slavery and, white people. I think it was James Clyburn. He was saying white people came here on their own, but Black people came here by force. They were forced to come here to endure the horrors of slavery. Nancy Pelosi talked about it. And I'm like, okay, well, surely somebody's going to talk about a check. Somebody's going to bring up reparations. And no one did. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Take your kente cloths and go somewhere. And really what it is, it symbolizes to us is, and a lot of, Black people will fall for it. Oh, they got on some kente cloth. Oh, they really trying to do something for Black people now. Oh, now they talking what are they really saying? They're not saying anything, because if they really wanted to help Black people, they would have done it a long time ago. What they see is going on now is people are tearing the country up for a whole host of reasons. But the murder of George Floyd kicked it off. And its protest has been going on. I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, but YG summons about 50,000 people in downtown Los Angeles due to the murder of George Floyd. And these protests are still going on. People are not turning back. People are not wanting to go back to normal. And so what these politicians are doing, along with the things like the NFL, they're throwing out all of these things to try to get people back focused on them. Again, we're in election season, and those people do not want to lose their seats. Who do we see lose a seat not too long? Well, I think he still lost to a Republican, but he was a Republican for a very long time. I can't think of, Steve King. Steve King. He's been in Congress or a senator for a very long time.
19 terms.
19 terms, and lost his seat. He's probably one of the most racist senators in Congress, right? And so these politicians are starting to see things change. And so, of course, now they're doing a lot of pandering. And don't you fall for that kente cloth thing for one moment. That was a lot of pandering. So, Donovan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, real quick. Same old stuff, different day. Now, you guys noticed that some of the stuff that they said that they were going to do. Remember when Obama was in office, Bush was in office, and he said that we were going to make a law that federal officers can't profile people on the interstate. When was the last time that you've seen a federal police officer running up and down the interstate in your city or in your state? There are no federal officers that do that. This bill is at the federal level because the Constitution and the Supreme Court has already ruled your local municipalities decide your police forces and stuff like that. This is all to make you guys feel good. And guess who's going to fall for it? You guys. Because Nancy Pelosi, she controls the House. She could have, if she was really serious about what she's doing, she could come up with any bill she wants right now and put it on the floor. All of a sudden, now she puts it on the floor, and then now she's not even sure if she can get it through. Well, we're going to do it's these constant games, and they're going to have you saying, oh, look, it's the Republicans upholding this. Oh, it's just like that. How many times do we have to go through this? And it's just the doggone shame, because you've got a lot of these people who went to the HBCUs and they're highly educated, and they're, yeah, we got to vote. We got to do this. This is what we're voting for. These morons. These are our choices. Either you vote for the Republican who don't give a damn about you anyway, or you vote for the Democrat who's just trying to pacify you, because what's happening is the establishment is looking at these Black Negro Democrats and saying, oh my God, you can't even get these people in check. What are you doing? We got to get these people back to where they're going. We're losing control here. And that's what all this is about. Look how fast the legislation came as soon as we started tearing up shit. I mean, Corliss, what do you think?
I don't think much is going to change until they keep the pressure. Because, I mean, people will tell you anything, okay? And then once they pacify you and smooth you over, then they go back to business as usual. And that's the problem. That's why we're in the situation we're in now, because they keep going back to business as usual. And nothing's going to change. I mean, you guys could have been done something a long time ago. But I do know this, that if they don't get these officers convicted and they don't do anything with them, they don't have to worry about the United States, because they're going to burn it all the way down. It's not going to be a United States. Everything going to be looking like Rosewood around here. Okay? They going to tear the whole goddamn country, going to be on fire. And people can say what they want to say. I think it kind of like irritates me a little bit too, because, you know, people are with this whole looting thing and they don't even know the history. Like, you need to know where all of that came from before you can get angry at somebody for doing it when you done it for 400 and some years. Like, you done looted us, you've raped us, everything you can think of with Black people, they've done it. And they've never felt anything. So at the end of the day, I don't feel shit either.
Exactly. You know, I've been watching, you know, and I troll a lot of you guys' pages, believe it or not. I troll you guys. I'm gonna give you guys some advice when you're dealing with your so-called white friends, and you know, and this is their narrative. They always want you to keep explaining stuff to them. Don't explain a damn thing to them, because if they are really interested in our cause and, you know, and what's going on, they'll do the research themselves. This friend of mine wanted me to tell him about the crime bill. I was like, Biden's law? Stuff that you should know, at least the basics. Oh, just give me the gist. No, motherfucker, you go and find out for yourself. You know, so stop placating these people, because what it is they're exposing themselves to let you know they don't give a damn. Because it's like Demetra says all the time, a friend would want you to have just as much as they have.
Absolutely.
You know, so
I know you saw the video with Luke.
Yeah.
Luke is a white, he's very young, okay? And one of my other friends, she's white. It's like they're so, how do I say, I won't say simple-minded, maybe, but she has no clue. And she thinks that, well, if you just sit down and you just talk to him. And I'm like, did you not see on this man's page that he put about the pure white breed? I said, what was pure about y'all?
Oh.
I don't believe we should mix races. I said, well, maybe they shouldn't have been dipping in the slave quarters. Shit. Like, really? I mean, come on, dude. What was pure about white people? What was pure about them? Nothing.
It could have started there in slavery, if that's how you really feel, right?
So,
yeah, most definitely. So, Joe Biden.
Yeah, go ahead. You know, so I don't want you guys to, you know, fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You know, actions with words without actions mean nothing. It's just dead. So don't fall for that.
And you guys, we're going to get to every last one of your comments. We're going to bring you in on the conversation, but I just want to just put this on the table really quick. Joe Biden, who seems to be leading in the polls, but you know, they're polls, we don't know. He is against defunding the police. He doesn't want to defund the police. And so I think that it really speaks volumes. You know, he is supposed to be the Democrat, and as people say, he's for the people and all of that. Well, you're seeing the people, and what is it, 80% of the people are okay with the protests. So the people are saying they want the police defunded, dismantled, and rebuilt into something that actually represents the people. But Joe Biden is saying he's not, he doesn't want that the police to be defunded, but I'm not shocked, because that's who Joe Biden is. Joe Biden is actually a Dixiecrat. He is an old Southern Democrat that is into the segregation and all of that. And so, of course, I mean, and look at the laws and the bills and stuff that he wrote. that was pro-police and, you know, heavy on crime, tough on crime, and all these other things. So it's not surprising that he's against defunding the police. But, you know, that'll go over a lot of people's heads, and he'll still get their vote for absolutely nothing. But I want to get to some of these comments right after you guys' opinion on that. Donovan?
Well, yeah. Well, I was one of the first ones that posted that on my page when Joe Biden his spokesman actually said that he's not for defunding the police. And, you know, and don't get this, you guys are going to get a lot of your white friends say, oh, we might as well have anarchy. Defunding the police does not mean there's no police force. What they're saying is allocate certain resources to other things. Policemen are not equipped to be mental health professionals. Policemen are not equipped to be side dudes that go into your chick's house while you're at work and make a special delivery. They're not equipped to do that, okay? I know that's kind of funny, but you know what I'm saying? So that's what they mean when they say defund. We are going to have a police force, but they're looking at other ways to do it. Why wouldn't Joe Biden be for that? You want to know why? That would declaw Biden's law. So that would send a message that, hey, you know, my Dixiecrats, we're not going to be able to, you know, incarcerate these Negroes. And then it goes into the prison industrial complex. It all ties in. So he's saying, I'm not doing it to let his donors know, hey, we going to get these Negroes in check. Once we fool them and I get in office, it's going to be business as usual. Corliss?
Well, I don't favor Biden, and a lot of people know, you know, my oldest son is in prison, and the prison system is just horrible. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why anybody will want to put him in a position to lock up more people, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
I absolutely agree. I mean, there's no guarantee that he's not going to do that. His record has proven that he will do that, right? And so I think, too, Joe Biden is in a position like, hey, I got the vote, the nomination. I'm going to go to the White House. So he said it himself, I'm going to continue the status quo, keep doing things the way we've been doing. I'm like, why should I change? Especially you Negro population. You're not asking me to change. You're allowing me to do the same old things. And you're not, you know, expecting me to do anything good by you at all. And just a lot of smoke and mirrors and lifting every voice and all of that. So anyway, I'm gonna get to you guys' comments. And William, what's happening? He says, good evening. And how are you guys doing? We are doing fabulous. I hope you're doing the same. Hey, JJ. And she says, shaking my head. And Amanda, she thought you were, Corliss, you were my daughter. And JJ says, Nancy looked uncomfortable kneeling. Her knee was about to give out. You know, my knee was about to give out just looking at it.
Well, no, okay, and that brings up another thing. Did you notice? I mean, I really felt bad for them because most of those people there are 70 years plus. I didn't think they were going to get up.
Well, I guess they were trying to illustrate how he must have felt, which, you know, obviously doesn't compare to what they were doing, but even just to stand in silence for 9 minutes, most people can't do that, and to kneel. So I guess that was their way of bringing awareness to it, but, you know, whatever. I'm not necessarily mad at that. The kente cloth thing was a whole different story. It's like, y'all doing the most now, okay? Only thing that was missing was an afro with a pig in the back. That was the only thing that you were missing.
Somebody said a watermelon. They were missing a watermelon.
Yeah, Donovan, was some watermelon.
Look, and Donovan, look, don't sleep on some of those 70-year-olds here. Don't sleep on them.
No. I know there's some good ones, but the majority of them, they ain't gonna make it. But
no, you missed the point. You missed the point, bro. You missed the point. Don't sleep on them 70-year-olds.
No, I got the point. Trust me. But another thing I want you guys to make sure you take a look at. You saw the white man up there. You saw the white woman up there. Of course, misleading us. What were the two groups that was not represented up there that should have been up there?
The Asians and Hispanics.
Wow. But our group that's supposed to represent us, the Congressional Black Talkers, as I call them, they are the first out there in news reports talking about DACA and the kids in the cages and all this other stuff. $330 million in California alone went to illegals. In California alone, non-citizens. So here we are at the time of our need. Where are they? And don't get me wrong, some of my brothers and sisters at the grassroots level, they're with us. They're with us. I'll give them that pride. But the Hispanic leadership, who's that guy down there in Texas? Castro. What's his name? Juan Castro, the twin brothers. He was the San Antonio.
And
yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. He's the leader of the Hispanic caucus. Where was he at? You didn't see none of the Hispanic caucus. You didn't see none of them.
He was busy. So anyway, I'll get to the rest of you guys' comments. And let's see. Donovan says, welcome to the hottest show on the internet. What's happening, Kurt? What's happening, Jonelle? Peace unto you as well. And you said pacification, symbolics, promises, and zero substance. And that's all it was. That's all it was. It was a bunch of just, puffery and feel good stuff. It's feel good people to people who aren't awake. But people who are awake, they're like, you know what? I still didn't hear no cha-ching in that speech at all. Like, you wasn't talking about writing no checks, because that's really how you're going to rectify the situation, right? And Kurt, you say the Dems are grandstanding. For your information, Kerner Commission established on this day, 1967, on July 27, 1967, President Lyndon B. Johnson established the National Advisory Commission on Civil Disorders, aka the Kerner Commission, tasked with assessing the causes of widespread urban rioting at the time. I'd be interested in seeing that, but we know at that time it was a lot of the same thing they were going through then, they were going through now. Nothing's really changed, right? But I'd be interested in seeing what that's about. Jonelle says, when you have true power, you bring injustice to account swiftly. Yeah, I mean, why are you taking forever? Some of those people have been in the Congress or forever. And now we hear you, we see you. It's like, come on, really? And then they lied and said, the Black Congressional Black Caucus, are so instrumental. It's like instrumental in doing what? What exactly have they done to help the plight of Black people? And Donovan, you say they got the African cloth now. They can identify with HBCUs, I guess. And Jonelle says it's the story of the man who got hit in the head. None of them to do the neighborly thing. None of them are good Samaritans. They're the other characters in the story showing symbolism and watching. And so there was a story that James Clyburn told about a soldier who came back, I think World War II or one or whatever, one. And when he got off of the bus, a police officer arrested him and put both of his eyes out by using his baton. So I was like, I don't know. When I hear stuff like that, it makes me mad, honestly. I watched a documentary the other day called The Uncomfortable Truth on Amazon Prime. I was so heated. Yeah, I should check it out. And Jonelle says they might as well been holding watermelons straight mockery. Yeah, it's like, come on now, really? But they did it for the Black folks who get off on that. Oh, they feel our pain. Okay. Oops. And it went up. And Jamani, I hope I said that right, says facts. And then Donovan is putting up BigMamaSauceCollection.com. You guys go check that out for some great sauces. And Jonelle says, right, if they didn't believe in race mixing, Black people would be much darker all over the planet. Exactly. And William, you say, get rid of this right here. And it's a website that I can't see. And then you also say, qualified immunity is a legal doctrine in United States federal law, which is a form of sovereignty immunity less strict than absolute immunity. It shields government officials from being held personally liable for the discretion actions performed within their official capacity, unless their actions violated clearly established federal law or constitutional rights. It is intended to protect officials who make reasonable but mistaken judgments about open legal questions. I can't see the rest.
Yeah, in the military, we have a thing when we go to other countries. It's called a SOFA agreement, and that basically shields soldiers from like certain prosecution at the local country, the host country's laws, where we have to do that. So, but in America, where everybody's supposed to be equal, unless your name is Trump, if he does something, shouldn't he be held to a higher account? So, like I said, if I got a speeding ticket just because he has a badge, why does, Why does he get to park in the parking space because he's in a government vehicle? That's not correct. So we need to get rid of qualified immunity because these guys are wholesale killing people while they're in uniform, and some of them outside of uniform, and getting away with it. We got to get rid of that.
So it's really just an ambiguous law. I mean, from what it sounds like, it's not, they need stuff that's cut and dry, no in gray area, stuff that's in between. Well, what had happened was, no, none of that kind of stuff. It needs to be cut and dry. And Jonelle says, the nation is beyond reform. It needs demolition and new one established. That's why separation from its best it is best for Black people. We must have our own and continue to be subjected to injustice or continue to be subjected to injustice and death. Yeah. I mean, that's where we are at this point. We need to separate. I mean, it sounds good now. I'm glad they're not, I don't know if they've stopped killing Black people, but I'm glad that there's awareness to it, like on this large of a scale. But at the end of the day, we need to have things that are for us away from everybody else. That's just my opinion. And JJ says, I am confused why people think voting Democrat is going to help Black people. It's because that's what they've always done. Their mama's done it. Their grandmama's done it. It's always been done that way. And so it's like, well, let's continue doing it. But if you just take a look back at the things that the Democrats have or have not done, it hasn't benefited Black people one bit. I'm talking about specifics, not just all. And, and if you listen to that speech today, too, it was kind of low key and all lives matter type speech because it kept on saying, oh, African Americans and, and this is, they kept throwing the word diverse around, diversity. And it's like, all right, here we go. And you guys jump in at any time. And JJ says, I guarantee you most of these red states are going to turn blue just because of this George Floyd situation. We're going to be in trouble then. I mean, they may or may not. There's still a lot of the population who don't agree with what's going on with the country. I want to say 20%, if that's correct, do not agree with the protests. And you guys are seeing a lot of people, white people, have showed their whole entire ass, on their social medias, talking big stuff about how bad he was and he should have complied and, why all the niggers, doing this and that. And, I'm tired of this Black Lives Matter stuff. So, I mean, I don't think any of those people, their minds have been changed, but we'll see, right? And Steven says, real talk. Donovan says, we got to keep the pressure on. Absolutely. Don't let up. And then Jonelle says, where in this nation truly going? Where is this nation truly going at this point? And do we truly want to continue in this nation practice way based off mathematics? What harvest does this nation have? Why would God bless America? Absolutely, especially all the things that America has done to people, specifically Black people. What's happening, Frank? He says, I think Antifa was necessary, anti-fascist group. You think a lot of people would disagree because they say Antifa is just as bad as the anarchists, if you will. They're out there for their own agenda, not necessarily Black people's agenda. So it's just kind of really all over the place. And hey, Monique, you say too much propaganda and a lot of smokescreen politics. It's a bunch of nothing but talk is happening. No real movement. We need our political movement back. Build Black Wall Street. And that's exactly the point. None of those people today were talking about writing a check for anything.
Right. And again, it takes legislation to do that because you can't just start a bank without going through the Federal Reserves and all that other stuff. So like you guys said, we have to start getting a check and legislation so that we can do that. But see, they have no intentions of giving us and letting us do that.
You're right. No, Al, she's just listening. She can speak whenever she wants. Al,
look, tell Al thanks for his concern, though.
Okay. And Frank says sometimes you need the Joker. Okay.
Yes.
Well, the Joker just showed up. Mm-hmm. And William says status of forces agreement or SOFA is an agreement between a host country and a foreign nation stationing military forces in that country.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said.
Okay. And then William, you also say there are unusual, very long agreements and are different in each and every host nation. And Damani, you say, yes. Okay. So I said it right. And Jonelle says, right. The awareness will blossom. Something far worse when you start a fire, you don't play in the backdraft. This is what the nation is doing. Burnt. Right.
So, in conclusion of that, you guys really hold these politicians accountable to what is in that. That is a federal statute. It has no bearing on local policies and local cities and police municipalities. That is strictly reserved to the states and the local areas. So they're just blowing smoke up our asses.
For the most part. So, we're in conclusion to that, because we're going to transition to another topic. We're going to talk about some relationship stuff. For the next
Corliss is gonna give us the fat meat.
We're all actually gonna have this conversation. But yeah, just don't fall for it. It's really the same of nothing. It's just more of nothing from both parties, really, because if you heard their language, they were saying, well, we got to see if the Senate, which are the Republicans, are going to pass it. They kept talking about Mitch McConnell and he's blocking the anti-lynching legislation and all this other stuff. So it's just all games, really. Like I said, if you're serious, write a check. That's what my mom used to always say. You can waste my time as long as you pay me. So anyway, let's lighten it up a little bit, because in the last couple of weeks, we've been going really hard in the paint, talking about politics and all that. We still should talk about it, but we want to kind of give it a break today. Again, the general is traveling. He'll be back in his seat tomorrow. So we want to just lighten up. So we're going to talk about relationships, if you will. So someone asked us to talk about open relationships. And so we're going to start off with that. And then I'm going to talk about a scenario that was actually told to me early this morning. And I want to see what you guys think. And so anyway, what is an open relationship? Does anybody want to define that? What is an open relationship?
Well, an open relationship is when you agree to deal with the person of your choice and outside people, if that's what you choose to do.
So the operative word being choose. If you choose to do that, okay. So I've actually heard of open relationships. The first time I really ever heard of the term, and this is gonna, I'm agreeing to a lot of stuff, is when I got on Facebook, because you know how people can change their shut up, Donovan. How people can change their relationship status. It's complicated. Open relationship, single, man, whatever. So that's when I think it was familiar to me. I'm like, oh, open relationship. Okay. So from what I understand, is just what you said, Corliss, is that you're involved with someone, but and I'm kind of paraphrasing, you don't really mind that they step outside of the relationship, if you will. I actually heard Monique and her husband, Sydney, talk about it. They actually have a podcast called Open Relationship something with Sydney and Monique or whatever. And they've been involved in an open relationship for a very long time, but they say it works for them. They go off, and from what I'm listening to them, and Donovan is shaking his head, listening to them, they're more or less saying it's not that we don't love each other, like we're in a relationship with each other, but sometimes you might want to have a taste for something different. So you go step out of your relationship, I guess, for a romp or roll in the hay, I don't know, with somebody else, and then you come back after you scratched your itch, if you will, and then you're back. I don't know.
That's also called swinging.
Swinging. Okay, there you go. It's swinging. So I'm gonna ask the both of you and anybody on here. I'm gonna get you guys' comments. Donovan, could you be in an open relationship?
I could, but she can't. I could, but she can't.
You don't want her to be in an open relationship.
That's right.
That's not an open relationship. That's you whoring around.
Right.
Exactly. But like I said, I don't want nobody messing in my stuff.
But you want to mess with somebody else's stuff,
right? So you want to go stir the pot, but you don't want their pot to get stirred. If you don't knock it off.
Yeah, no. But in all seriousness, I just think it's kind of crazy even to do that. If you don't want to settle down, then don't settle down. Date different people and do what you got to do. But when you make a commitment to somebody, you're in that relationship. Stay in that relationship, because all I'm saying is, at our age, it's hard to find somebody that is screwed up as you are and make it work. It's hard, and then you got to get to know a new person and go through all that. I don't want to go through all that. So for me, that's just not for me. I couldn't do it.
And we're going to get to every last one of your comments, I promise. Corliss, what's your take on it?
I did it before for 6 years. But it was a choice. It didn't bother me because it was honest. You know, we were always open and honest with each other. So I knew everything that this person was doing. The other thing was I didn't live in the same state with him. So that was something totally different. So I know, you know what I'm saying? What he did, there was never secrets. I knew everything. So it's basically a choice. But see, that's when I was younger. Right now, I don't have time for it.
So now it's a no. Donovan, you're saying you can, she can't. Well, I always talk about myself. That's a hell no for me. I would never want to be in an open relationship because I just don't believe God has shortchanged me to the point to where I got to share. Not only are you sharing a person, but you're going to be sharing everything else that come with it, like VD.
Yeah, exactly. And think about this. You're in this relationship, and let's say a pregnancy happens. Depending on the situation, and you got to explain that. You're like, well, you've been with her for 13 years. You had a baby. You know what I mean? It's just it.
But see, Donovan, this is the thing. Some people are in an open relationship and don't know it, because who was it that just said it? I think it's Jermaine Marie Dawson. She just said, I was in an open relationship and I didn't know it. And a lot of people are in open relationships and they don't know it. Their mates are stepping out without being truthful to the person that they live with, as well as the other woman or other women.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, but let me get to some of these comments here. And Jonelle says America media is in control, cloak and dagger to the minds of the masses, talking about the Democrat situation. And Donovan says open relationship. Who is for that? I am. And Frank says yes, open relationships. And Jonelle, you say whoredom, allowance to be with others, disease. I'm with you, brother. That's a ditto. I feel the same way. And somebody put up some spam is what it looks like. Shame on you. And JJ says Monique and Sydney are swingers. She says next caller. Yeah, I guess that's what they are, swingers, right? But they seem like they don't necessarily have a problem with it. In fact, Monique said it was her idea to start the open relationship. She says because she knows, how men are, and she knows how she is. Sometimes she gets bored and she wants to go out and do her thing with somebody else, and he goes out and does his thing with more power. And let's see. And Kemet, what's happening? He says an open relationship destroys the respect of a real relationship. I agree. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's like, why be in a relationship? Why even call it a relationship if we're going to be out with other people? I don't understand that. Yeah, my dad would always say, and I'm going to try to clean this up as much as possible, says a man can get kitty cat before he can get food. And it's the same thing with women. Women can get, bang-a-lang before she eat. It's not hard to get, right? So if that's what you're in it for, and again, I don't understand the total dynamics of open relationships, but if it's just sex, I mean, why even be in a relationship? Why not just do you, And JJ says, if you're in an open relationship, you were single. Absolutely. I mean, to me, I'm thinking you're single. You're honest. Hey, you're not the only one. I like to go do other people. In the meantime, I see it as a single situation too, but maybe some people will disagree. And JJ says simple. And Frank says, I couldn't. Let me see. Says, I couldn't share you, baby Demetra, really? Or you share me?
But I have a question for Corliss though. So I mean, were you in the open relationship, or the other person was in the open relationship?
We all were in an open relationship. He wasn't committed to anybody.
Right, so right. I mean, open. So I mean, did that make you feel a certain way? I mean, because let's say you really like this guy, but you're in passion with this guy at the moment. Didn't that make you feel a certain way?
No. You know what the funny thing is, I'm built a little differently. Okay. So I guess you can kind of detach yourself from feelings. You can. It's very possible. You know that basically for me with him, the sex was just bomb. You know, he had good company. I go see him and I leave and come home and I'm good till I see him again. But that's just the choice that I had. The other thing is, how can you get upset when you already know what it is from the beginning? See, issues come when lies come and deception. Okay. So when you don't go into it truthfully and you blindsided, that's when all the drama comes in. But I believe that when you open and you honest from the gate with nothing hidden and you don't have to go in and uncover nothing, you know, and it ain't people in your inbox and all kind of stuff like, you know, because I've had that happen to me before. And after, I think almost the 7th year, one of the girls that he was dealing with, she was feeling some kind of way. So she approached me and that was all bar. It was over because don't approach me. If you have an issue, you know what he does. So you need to go talk to him, but don't approach me.
All right now. And Jamani, you say I was in an open relationship and didn't know. And that's what Carly was saying. That it's true for a lot of people. And that's called cheating. If you're in an open relationship, I mean, it just is. If you're in an open relationship and you didn't know it, that means you're being cheated on. And I think we've all been in an open relationship.
Yeah, but see, Demetria, that's why I say that's not an open relationship. That's a whole lie. And see, when you get the line, you're going to fool around and somebody going to get hurt at the end of the day. Because see, people today are not playing the games of, oh, you want to go do this and that. You see Snap. Snap is real.
Deadly women.
I'm telling you wake up, you see they cutting off penises and chopping up people and dumping them in lakes, and you can't.
Yeah, for my man, for my woman.
Yeah, it's crazy, but you never know what you do to a person by playing with their mind because you don't know what they've been through before. So your best thing is to be open from the gate with what's going on. That's the mature and adult thing to do. Because if you can't do that from the gate, somebody gonna get hurt, and I can guarantee you it ain't gonna be the women.
Right. So basically, you're saying for you ladies, especially for you ladies, don't take your choice away.
Well, I think that's true for anybody. Don't take your choice away, especially if someone has told you, I don't want to be involved with you and other people. Don't do that to them, because I always say you can't control how another person receives what you do to them.
Absolutely.
In Disneyland World, if, oh, you know what, hey, baby, I cheated on you just a little, and you want them to say, oh, just a little, oh, that's okay, I'm all right with that. Don't get mad when their head starts spinning around and then they go get all the kitchen knives. I mean, you know, that's kind of, you can't control that.
That's true. That is true.
So, and let's see, Jonelle says exactly, swinging is basically a non-commitment with plenty risk. Yeah, like I said, I can't do the sharing thing because, you know, people, they let their lower desires take it. I'm going to sock you, Donovan. As soon as the social distances is over, Donovan hasn't gotten an elbow from me in a long time. All that sounds good. And you know what? Even if somebody was to bring a baby home, all right, that's horrible in and of itself. But then you bring home something I can't get rid of. Oh, we both gonna die today. One of us is going to hell and another one is going to jail. And I'm probably going to jail, okay? And JJ says, if you want to be in an open relationship, you don't like commitment, which says a lot. Yeah, you know, and that's fine. I think if you don't like commitment, just be honest. Hey, you know what, baby, I ain't wanting to be with one person. I'm just letting you know that right now, if you decide to engage in some sort of a relationship with me, you know you ain't going to be the only one. But as Donovan said, don't take a person's choice away, because that's when, you know, knives get to flying. We better stop talking about stabbing people. Kevin says, an open relationship always has one person who is selfish and dominant in the relationship that takes advantage of a person who they know they can get over on. I agree with that. You know, but the other side, that's like, why not just go do you? Why do you want to take another person who genuinely loves you through the stuff? You know what? Just leave. Go sling your stuff all around about the country and leave me out of it, you know?
But guess what? He or she ain't gonna stop slinging and swinging whatever they giving out anyway. You know, to me, I don't know. Like I said, when I was younger, I was okay with the whole open relation. I was just, I was doing my own thing, but I wasn't messing with anyone else. But I knew that he was, and that's the difference. I have a friend. She's married. Okay, she and her husband have been together for 15 years. If she wants to step out, he will go find her, whoever she wants, sets it all up, and he stays right in the room while everything goes down.
Okay, hold on. Pump the brakes real quick. Hold on. You said he will go find her.
He'll go find a man for her, for his wife. Mm-hmm. But she's also found women for him, along with him finding other women too, and it works for them. So hey, who am I to judge?
I could never find a girlfriend that would do that for me. Never. I just feel so damn deprived.
I listen. I remember what happened the other day on live. I know you can't. I know you ain't about that life. I know you ain't about that life. So anyway, Shaniqua, what's happening? Says it's too many diseases for all that. Absolutely. I mean, it's all fun and games until somebody get to scratching profusely. Like, I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, it's either that or yes, Mr. Johnson, it's herpes. Oh, thank God. You got herpes. It wasn't something else.
And Kimmy says then that is not an open relationship. That is cheating. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Just cheating. But I say, if you want to be in an open relationship, just make that apparent to everybody from the gate. Don't do it. Get me in a closed relationship and say, you know what? I've been thinking about an open relationship. After we done invested all this time and stuff together, now you want to be in an open relationship? How about being in an open casket? Will that work for you?
Right. Well, then, let me ask you guys this real quick. Either or. You're in the neighborhood. People know you. You've been there for years. Because Demetra and I say this all the time. You see these young girls. They all have babies for the same guy in the neighborhood. So they know he's out there doing what he's doing. So if I'm in an open relationship in my neighborhood or my community, wouldn't that kind of sully my reputation, or would I be the go-to guy? Like, hey, something's up.
Well, when people gossip about what they got in bed, some people want to go and check it out. So, that's just how that works. I mean, I have a very strange short story. I have a cousin that's younger than me, and she's okay with the open relationship too. Like, she kind of threw me off where she said, she said her boyfriend has another girl, and then she was telling me about a story about the other girl, but she was like, no, they was screwing each other right in the bed. And I said, in the bed where were you? She said, oh, I was in the bed too. See, I can't do all that. I can't do none of that at all. So I said, you were in the bed with your boyfriend and he was screwing the other girl. Now, mind you, my cousin wants a baby. Look at that. My cousin wants a baby. They've been going to the fertility clinic and all of this because neither one of them had kids. Well, guess who's pregnant? It ain't my cousin. And he won't even tell her that the girl is pregnant. The girl sent her a picture of the sonogram.
That's what happens when you open Pandora's box.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. See, the foolishness.
Oh my God. And Donovan says, at my age, I can't do it. Lost too many relationships because of my immaturity. Well, you know what? What can you do, brother? And hey, Marcus, what's happening? If you guys are in the watch parties, you can click on the link and come on over and we'll get your comments. And Jonelle says COVID-19, AIDS, etc., is an open relationship with a lot of people too. Absolutely. That's all in the mix. Okay. That's all in that open relationship right along with you. And Kim says, if a person does not tell you that they are sleeping with someone else, then that is not an open relationship. That is cheating, most definitely. And Channy, what's happening? He says, even when you go into it truthfully, there are consequences. Yeah, because it's always that way. And from what I've heard from a lot of people, it sounds good. Well, really from a situation of a person being a side piece, if you will. Up front, they're like, I don't have a problem with it. He goes home to his wife, he comes over to me and we have a good time, watch movies, Netflix and chill, and he bring his money over here or whatever. But as time goes on, it's like, wait a minute, why can't you come over here for Christmas? And why you don't ever pick up your phone when I call you? Well, I know you with your wife, but damn, you can't. Then that's when the consequences start coming in. And that's when those, the earring gets left in the car. And if he's stupid enough to have you over his house, that's when you leave your drawers and, all of that other stuff. And you send these anonymous inboxes with one friend on it. Your man is cheating on you. That's the consequence. I've never done any of that stuff, by the way, okay? And JJ says, so for the people into open relationship, does that mean you're into polygamy?
You might as well say it because that's what it is.
Yeah, or polygamy is actually being married to one or more people, and that's really only legal in Utah. But yeah, I guess in a non-marriage way, people are involved in polygamous relationships all the time.
Well, I mean, in the Black community, since we don't marry each other anyway, I mean, it's the same thing. The guy's got 2 or 3. I mean, how do you have 2 or 3 babies within a year? 3 or 4 months of each other.
Right.
No, let's try. Some are born within 2 weeks of each other.
Hey, listen, I know I ain't gonna tell it who it is because some of these people might be watching. I know of a situation where the dude had one woman in a maternity ward, and next door he had his side piece in a maternity ward, both delivering his babies on the same day. True story. Please believe it or not, that's incredible.
But it's really funny too because some of the side pieces don't even know they're side pieces. They think they the main piece.
Yeah, they don't make side pieces like they used to,
No.
And I'm not trying to let me shut up because I've been to mess around and gave somebody the game and they figure out how to really cheat. I don't want to do that. Jonelle says, but in truth, what purpose does an open relationship serve beyond pleasuring? You might as well stay single because you're not building nothing in an open relationship. No, the only thing you're building is a disease chart at the doctor. That's the only thing that you're building because most of the time those people ain't sleeping with people protected. They're just out there having a good time. Like knock on wood. I have never had any of those things, but I'm telling you, if I did, we would be doing this show from cell block H in the women's penitentiary and maximum security. That's what I'd be talking. You guys would know me by my booking number. Because I would know somebody.
So Corliss, so if you're in a relationship like that, where does a relationship like that go? I mean, because to me, at the end of it, it isn't going to go anywhere. So,
well, the thing is too, you at the time you may not be looking for the relationship to go anywhere. It's a sexual fulfillment. That's what it was for me. It was good. 6 years, 7 years, and like I said, the deal breaker was being approached. Don't approach me. That was my deal breaker. If you can't control your hoes, then they at the wrong door. Okay? Because I just don't play. As long as I know what's going on, and clearly they knew what was going on too, for you to approach me.
That's because their feelings get involved. That's why I said at first, I'm glad I don't have him every day of the week. I'm glad he go home to his wife. And then they start getting feelings involved, and it's like, wait a minute. And that's when you start getting approached by the side women because they stop learning their place. But I'm gonna give y'all the game just a little bit.
But this is the thing with me, Demetra. The girl that approached me was the one that was with him all the time. So for you to even try to get in contact with me, Facebook, or you see me walking in an establishment and you say, "Hey, can I talk to you?" No. Well, I just want to know. We ain't got shit to talk about.
Wow, that's all. Well, maybe I won't give the game. I'm gonna save that for another show. And Kimmy says in some religious communities have more than one wife, and the woman rather share their man. What's that? That's polygamy. And that's really prevalent with Mormons in Utah. That's the type of lifestyle they live. They have what they call them sister wives, I guess, where they're married to one guy and they have, I guess, a functional relationship.
Yeah, and some tribes in Africa, like in Uganda, they have multiple wives and stuff.
Yeah, because it's a guy on Facebook that was actually doing it too. Yada, I think is his name. Yada. He was on Facebook doing it. He had 3 women in the same house. Donovan, 3 kids in the same, and they all lived together. They all shopped together. He went to whomever's bed he wanted to go to. And then when I guess something had to happen because 2 of them wind up leaving and he kept the youngest girl. But he did it for over a year and for all of Facebook to watch.
I would just say this, and I'm not trying to give y'all too much information, but if that was a choice for me, I would just have a lot of batteries on hand. I'm going to leave it at that. And Steven says, can you allow your spouse to be cool with their ex? Me only in passing. I mean, I would say it depends on what type of ex they are. Like if it's an ex and y'all have children together, I don't have a say so in how you deal with them to a certain. I mean, I can't. What I'm saying is, I can't tell you. I have no right to tell you can't talk to them. Obviously, you need to talk to your exes if you have children together because you guys are actually co-parents at that point. But if you are engaging in relationships with the exes, even if you have kids with them where you're always on the phone with them and they call you with all their problems and, it's impeding on your relationship, then you might as well just cut them loose and say, hey, y'all not exes no more. Might as well just get the band back together and you cut me out of, the equation and just do your thing. But I think it just depends. In passing, I pass my ex at the grocery store. How you doing? But not in passing that they keep calling and, popping up and
and texting and inboxing and all that. No, because my thing is this. If it's your ex and y'all had no ties and then all of a sudden you keep coming back creeping, well, what the fuck they your ex for? You should have stayed with their ass.
So that means you probably up to no good. If you are entertaining, you shouldn't be entertaining your ex that you have no ties to for any reason. Like I said, hey, how you doing? But all that back down memory lane and, take your mini Ripperton ass on somewhere. Okay. I don't want to go back down memory lane with you. Okay. And Jonelle says, right, feelings can be dangerous, especially when they're caught by one and not the other. Absolutely. That's usually what it is in a side piece situation is the one that's doing the cheating is like, I got a wife. I can't really, do all of that with you. But the jump off is like, well, I love you now. I want you to leave her. And then that's when you get caught. And Kimmy says Jada and Will. Yeah, they are rumored to have an open relationship. Now, how true it is, I don't know, but that's what the word on the street is, right? And Steven says, I'll be damned. And Jonelle says, so nowadays, Papa and Mama are Rolling Stones. What chance do the future have? I agree. It's like, even back then, back in the day, people had people on the side, I guess, if you will. But it wasn't all in the open. Now, there's no shame. These side pieces and side dudes, they have no shame at all. They just, I'm with your man. And, and I never understood the concept of trying to sleep with somebody else's spouse or boyfriend. Like, what? Ew. And Monique says, this is not Burger King, but you can't control people, privates. It's always about honesty. When people tell you who they are, believe them, and don't think you can try to change them. Nothing seems to be sacred any longer. It boils down to self-worth and how one values themselves. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And William says open relationships can work out just as good for women as it can for men, maybe even better. Can't get what you need from one, you just go to another one that can. It happens anyway. So this is so this way things are just out in the open. Just be upfront about your lifestyle. Again, I say that sounds like you're a single individual. Don't try to be in a relationship with me if you want to be on a creep. I mean,
some people just like to have their cake and eat it too, and they just ain't gonna be honest nowhere around the board. And then with me, I've always been built like this. If you could do it, you better believe I can do it a whole lot better than you can. Okay.
And you know what? I ain't trying to give y'all the game. I'm not gonna give y'all. I'm gonna give y'all the game a little bit. And women are clever.
Ooh, baby, we slick.
We know how to make you feel. We ain't gonna miss a beat with you. Listen, I ain't never did it, so I don't want y'all to think I'm speaking from experience, okay? I just know the game.
I'm speaking from experience.
We can make you feel like a king, not miss a beat. You wouldn't have a clue. We can keep the same emotions, with you. You wouldn't think, well, something's off with her. You'd be like, she is just, oh man, things are just getting better and better. And be having a whole nother dude somewhere. I've seen it done.
I'm gonna turn the mic off on.
I'll just give y'all the game a little bit. And Jonelle says it's that R. Kelly trapped in the closet. You don't know how open your relationship is, right? Woo, if a midget jump out of my relationship, I'm gonna know something. And Steven says, yeah, wait until the holidays. Exactly. Why you can't spend it with me? Well, Betty, I got 5 kids with the lady. I can't really just dip off like that with you. But, those are the things that come into play. And Al says, watch the Samuel L. Jackson movie, Mother and Child. We'll check it out. And Monique says, damn, Donovan. Shaniqua says, exactly. And Jonelle says, sex is where an open relationship has its root. You ain't dipping off on having an open relationship because you want to play, checkers with somebody else. It's always about the sex. If that's the case, you're just hanging out with the homies. But it's like, come on, let's keep it real here. And Steven says, used to be in Waco, Texas. Yeah, was it Camp Davidian or Warren Jeffries or something? The Warren Jeffs, one of those cats. Camp Davidian, I think it was. David Koresh. And Jonelle says, wife is equal to responsibility. An open relationship doesn't entitle responsibility. Yeah, but you know what, Jonelle? People have the definitions all jacked up. They want wifey responsibilities from people they're in open relationships with and all of that. And then Al says, Sister Wives is a good show on TLC Network since 2012. Yeah, my sister used to watch that show. I couldn't get into it. And Steven says, right on. And Donovan says, this is some informative stuff. Where are the women that do this kind of stuff? Donovan ain't about that life. And then you also say support the war zone effort. And then you also say the 5-star general will be landing on the front lines of Houston tonight. Absolutely, you guys. And so what do you guys have to say in closing?
Corliss, ladies first.
I'll just say, in whatever relationship you in, you better be honest, because you got something that's a whole lot smarter than you. Just be honest. That's all women want. Women, I can't speak for a man because I'm not a man, but most women just want you to be honest. Say what it is, mean what you say, and just don't go the other way, because when you do, you just never know what you're going to let out that bag.
Well, I could say this. For those of you guys that have daughters and sons, if that's how you choose to live your life, I hope it'd be like the old days where we know the shit's going on, but it's behind closed doors and the kids ain't getting involved and, seeing all that, because I can only imagine if I had a daughter And I know she's being treated in a way that she's in an open relationship. Now, if she wants to get into it, that's on her. But she's in an open relationship that she doesn't know about. Dad's going to have to get involved there because, I want my daughter treated, the way she needs to be treated with a lot of respect. But for me, that's just a lot of complications. And I know that stuff goes on in Atlanta. You hear about these stories, but, me personally, I have not yet met anybody that I'm aware of that does that. It's just, to me, if you're going to do it, just be responsible about it. Like you guys say, just be straight up and just tell them, hey, this is what I'm into. This is what we're going to do. And if you don't want to roll with their brothers, stop taking these women's choices away. Just tell it to them and let them decide.
And by the way, Donovan is very single. Ladies, I am taking the highest bidder. If you are interested in Mr. Donovan the Black Yul Brynner Sadiq, hit my inbox and we'll make a deal. Okay, I'll do his negotiating. I take a small management fee on top of it.
Yeah. I'm not into swinging though. I don't swing.
I got you, brother. I got you. I'm gonna make sure she just right for you. So he hit my inbox. I'm his agent. So anyway, I would say, who's making love to your old lady? Why you out making love? I mean, think about that. You out there creeping and dipping and all. So that's all I got to say about that. But to Donovan's point, don't rob people of their choices. Be honest. You want to get out there and have your thing on the string for everybody to hit it like a piñata? You do that. You do that. But let me know. Give me a choice if I want to be one that's swinging on the piñata with you. Okay. And so anyway, in closing, I'll read the last comments. And Jonelle says, right, people want the wife and husband entitlement while still on an open season mode. Straight wilderness indeed. And Monique says, like a queen, we forget we are royalty. There is no loyalty to our royalty. Absolutely. That's right. Who's making love to your old lady? And Jonelle says, just tell them you want sex with no strings. Right. And there's a lot of people who be like, well, I do too. I'm just not one of them. So anyway, you guys, we will see you tomorrow. Gary will be back.
Yes, the hottest show on the internet. Want to thank Corliss Johnson coming out. Corliss, you're always invited, as you know, back on the War Zone any time. We will, for those of you guys that were waiting for Chief Acevedos, he canceled on Sunday, and we will reschedule him, I believe, next Sunday. Haven't got the word yet, but we're going to get him on the show. The 5-star general will be touching down in Houston. So that means we are going to get stuff done in regards to the HPD down there. And again, to those that went to school with George Floyd, our condolences. And, you guys really, one thing I could say about Houston real quick, I just want to say this. They always talk about us not coming together and we're always against each other. And we're always killing each other and fighting each other. But that neighborhood down there, you saw it on TV today, how, the whole community came together for this brother and, and is just doing it. And so once again, as a community, as the Black community, we are showing that those stereotypes, they're just not true. They are just not true. We love our, relatives and community members, even if they move away, as much as anybody else does. So, big ups to Houston for the support that you guys have given the Floyd family and the community itself. So big up.
Also, I forgot really quick. Let me run this by y'all. I spend another 5 minutes or so. So somebody, and I forgot all about it. So somebody brought a scenario to me, and basically it went like this. A lady had went out on a date with a guy once, but they had talked for about a month or so before that. And they finally went out on a date. And she says that she couldn't continue to date him because he was immature. Now, she said he was immature because she's works for corporate America, and she can't be with a man while she's typing with her nails polished behind a computer while he's working as a garbage man. She can't be with a man that while she is having these high-powered lunches, he's having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the break room. She couldn't be with a man who, while she's taking a trip to Costa Rica with her girlfriends, he's on the church bus going to the casino. So it was different things like that. And so in my opinion, you guys give me your opinion. I said, that doesn't sound like immaturity. It just sounds like they're not compatible. You know, she is on a different playing field. And I also said, she sounds like she's a little bit bougie to me, but whatever. But I don't think that makes him immature because he's not in Costa Rica. Instead, he's going to the casino gambling trip with the church, which is kind of an oxymoron if you think about it. I said, I don't think it makes him immature. I just think that that's not who she wants to be with. What do you guys think?
It reminds me of the movie Think Like a Man with Taraji and the chef that she was with, how she was corporate and he was pretty much everything she wanted. He just wasn't in the tax bracket that she wanted. So she leaves him alone and meets the tax bracket, hooks back up with him, and then he in there like Charlie Brown, wah, 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 and she unhappy. So then, you know, now you sitting here, you thinking about the one that, you know, he's serving and he doing this and he doing that, but that's who she wind up with in the end. It ain't what you do, it's how you do it.
Right.
Absolutely. I have to agree with that. It's he's going to be a man regardless. I think he's going to be a man regardless. And if she, you know, I mean, there's certain things that we do. There's certain things that you guys do. I don't care if a woman makes a zillion dollars. Ike Turner showed us the way. Tina's successful. So, you know, we'll take care of that. How much money you made? You gonna go have a baby? You could have called. I would have picked you up. You know what I mean? So, you know, in the defense, I just think it's just they're just on different economic planes. And if you love somebody, it doesn't matter.
Right. And Steven says H-Town baby. And Al says Floyd is on the cover of People magazine. I would say that's a great thing, but it's a horrible thing as to why he's on that magazine, right? And William says she sounds disgusting. He is not the worst. They are just on different economic levels. I would say this: Garbage Man in some places make some bank, in the $100,000 range. So I mean, she just sounds a little bit silly. Whoever this woman is. They also say their idea of fun are just different. That's what I said. I mean, I don't think that makes him immature. He just ain't trying to be Costa Rica with your ass.
We call her shallow.
Exactly, shallow. And but to your point with I think like a man should mess around to get with a dude who ain't about nothing. He got all the bells and the whistles, the cars and the houses, but he also got 11 other holes on the side right along with you. But y'all bougie all together, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Ravana, he says, Ravona, I'm sorry, says, I'm late. Yes, you know, but we'll be back tomorrow. And William says, sound like he was more of an embarrassment to her because of her social economical status and that of her friends. I call bullshit and hearsay. And Jonelle says, that's her choice. She may or may not have been missing out on a good human being, but also in all things, women must discern wisely. If there is no ambition in the man on any level, no woman should make that selection. And I agree with that as well. They just weren't compatible. It wasn't what she was looking for, but I don't know if the things that she mentioned makes him immature, it just makes him on two different levels. But I say at the end of the day, we should always be true to ourselves. If you want to be with a person who does that and that's okay with you, then great. If not, don't waste your time. Don't waste their time. And I applaud her on one level in that she knew that wasn't for her. Because a lot of people will, you know, play along. You know, I'm bored. Our girls got to eat. You know, have them continue taking her out to dinner. And she knows all along, you know, she's not going to be into him. And the rest is history. And so I think people should just make that decision right away. You know what? It's not, we ain't going to make it, baby.
Well, it's better than them falling in love with the perception of a person. Right. You know, a lot of people see people as what they think they are, and they fall in love with the conversation and the perception of that person. And then when you get behind the scenes, that perception ain't what you thought in the front. Now you looking like a whole fool because you done missed out on something, fooling with the perception.
And one of these days, you guys, I keep saying, and I've told this to Donovan a long time ago, I want to start a show, like an investigative type of show, a detective show called What's Behind the Booty?
Ooh, let me be in on that show, baby.
Yes, we need to do some investigation because this is really about you men. Y'all fall for that big giant booty and breast and all the designer handbags and all of that, and then y'all get got. So maybe it can be like we'll have men bring this certain relationship, to the table, if you will, and we'll say, okay, well, what's behind the booty? Yes, she looks good. But is she going to be a good mother? Is she going to make a good wife? Is she good with finances? Is there money in that $5,000 purse she's carrying?
Well, look, can we do it? Look, can we do it both ways across the board, Demetra? Because you got some good men. They looking good too, baby. You meeting the representative, honey.
Yes. What can we call it? What's behind the booty and what's behind the? We'll have to think of a good one for the men. But it's coming. And William says, Miss Johnson, I like your tattoo. I love roses. Of course, I put the emphasis on there.
William, you better stay typing behind that screen, baby. That's where you better stay. Because I'm full of roses.
We better get out of here, but we all get in trouble, right? And Monique says, falling for the okie doke, don't fall for the booty. You might be getting bamboozled, which a lot of men get bamboozled. What's behind the booty? Stay tuned. We're going to put that all together for you. If you want to figure, it's going to be like a cheaters type of thing, but they're not cheating. We just want to make sure that she measures up, right? That she doesn't run roughshod through all of your money and then you end back up on the host role, having to work a gig because this woman then took all your riches, right? We just want to. Oh, he said the emphasis. I had a spot on. Okay, he said I had the emphasis spot on. All right.
Wait, Demetra. We saying what's behind the booty, but shit, it might be penis. They fooled today, baby.
Ooh, let me write that down. All right, you guys, we will see you guys later. Thank you so much, Corliss Johnson, for sitting in and joining us. Please come back anytime you want to talk about something. You just sit in with us, and then we extend that to everybody. If you want to come on and chop it up with us, please do. And Jonelle, one of these days we got to get you on here. So hit me up. All right, you guys, be good. Peace.